In a small town lived a 24-year-old boy named Arjun. Life was harsh on him. He was orphaned as a child. He had no family, no friends, just a boss who barely paid him enough to keep him alive. Every day was the same. He worked without a break, returned to his small, dimly lit room, cooked 4 simple chapatis with some vegetables, ate in silence, and went to sleep. One day, after working all day, Arjun prepared his standard dinner. He put the 4 chapatis on a plate and stepped aside to wash his hands. He returned to find that 1 chapati was missing. Strange, he thought, but perhaps he had miscounted. The next night brought the same experience. By the 3rd night, curiosity had turned into suspicion. Deciding to be more alert, Arjun decided to lay out the mystery. He stood in the dark and watched as a big, fat mouse crawled out of a hole, snatched a chapati, and tried to make a run for it. Arjun caught the mouse quickly. To his amazement, the mouse said, "Brother, why are you stopping me? I'm just taking my share of fate. Please let me have the chapati." Arjun, still dazed, said, "I hardly get to eat. I make 4 chapatis to survive, and you steal one every day. My life is already tough." The mouse, with wise eyes, said, "I know someone who can help you. He will answer all your questions and guide you to a better life. His name is Gam Buddha. Go to his ashram and he will show you the way." Though skeptical, Arjun decided to follow the mouse's advice. He took a 5-day leave from work and embarked on a journey that would change his life forever. On the first night, Arjun stumbled upon a grand mansion. Tired and cold, he knocked on the door seeking shelter. The mansion's owner, an elderly man with kind eyes, welcomed him warmly. "Where are you going, son?" he asked. "I am going to Gam Buddha's ashram," replied Arjun. He lit up the face of the owner with hope. "That's great. I have a question for him. My daughter hasn't spoken a word in 20 years. Please ask him when she will speak again." Arjun promised to ask and continued his journey. The next day, he reached the snowy mountains. The path was treacherous, and Arjun did not know how to cross. As he pondered, he saw a magician meditating, his aura glowing against the snow. "Where are you going?" the magician inquired. "I am going to meet Gam Buddha," Arjun replied. The magician's eyes sparkled with curiosity. "Can you ask him a question for me? I have meditated here for 1,000 years and still can't ascend to heaven. Please ask when I will reach heaven." Arjun agreed. In gratitude, the magician used his powers to help Arjun cross the mountains safely. Later, Arjun came to a huge river whose currents were wild and merciless. As he wondered how to cross it, a giant tortoise came out of the water. "Where are you going?" the tortoise asked. "I am going to meet Gam Buddha," Arjun replied. The tortoise sighed very deeply. "I have been in this river for 500 years, trying to become a dragon. Please ask him when I will achieve my dream." Arjun nodded, and the tortoise carried him safely across the river. Finally, after days of travel, Arjun reached Gam Buddha's serene ashram. Surrounded by peaceful disciples, Buddha's presence radiated wisdom and calmness. After listening to his discourse, Arjun learned that Buddha would only answer 3 questions. Arjun was in a dilemma. He had 4 questions, 1 for the mansion owner, 1 for the magician, 1 for the tortoise, and his own question about his miserable life. After much thought, he chose selflessness over self-interest and decided to drop his own question. He went to Gam Buddha and asked the 3 questions. Buddha replied clearly, "The mansion owner's daughter will speak the day she gets married. The magician will reach heaven if he drops his staff. The tortoise will be a dragon if he removes his shell." Arjun thanked Buddha and started his journey back. On the way, he met the tortoise and delivered Buddha's message. The tortoise, full of hope, shed its heavy shell and transformed into a magnificent dragon. Before flying away, it left behind a pile of sparkling pearls as a token of gratitude. Further ahead, Arjun met the magician. "Buddha says you must let go of your staff to reach heaven," he said. With a smiling face, the magician dropped his staff and just like that, was gone into heaven, leaving in the hands of Arjun the magical staff. Finally, Arjun returned to the mansion and narrated the message of Buddha. The owner was extremely happy. "Who else can be a better groom for my daughter than you?" he asked Arjun. "Marry my daughter," he agreed. The moment the marriage ceremony was over, the daughter said her first words, "You were the man who came to our house that night." Arjun's life was transformed. He had wealth from the pearls, power from the magician's staff, and love from his wife. All of this he got because he himself kept aside his own self for others. The lesson. This story teaches us a very powerful lesson. True greatness comes from selflessness and sacrifice. Arjun dared to give up his own question to help others, and in doing so, he found happiness and success beyond his imagination. Life often challenges us to choose between our desires and the needs of others. But when we prioritize kindness, empathy, and generosity, the universe rewards us in unexpected ways. Helping others can create lasting joy and fulfillment. Letting go of fears and selfish desires opens the door to new opportunities. Selflessness doesn't mean losing, but winning something far more precious: love, respect, and peace within. Take one step today for someone who needs it. In return, life will surprise you with more than your wildest dreams.